You are not some special person that people pick on just because you're a special person. People pick on you because you do not have boundaries, you don't know how to reinforce your boundaries, and you allow them to walk over you. You allow them to treat you like a pushover. That's why people treat you bad. That's why people are consistently picking on you, because you don't have boundaries. And today we're going to learn how to reinforce those boundaries. But everybody's always talking about boundaries. If you go on any social media platform, you will see millions of videos about boundaries. But what even is a boundary? Boundaries are the limits that we set for ourselves. Boundaries are unique for every individual. No one is going to have the same exact boundary for the same exact reason. And we cannot try to justify people's boundaries, and we can't try to decode other people's boundaries. We have to be worried about our own boundaries. You need to understand, what are my limits? What am I able to handle in relationships? Okay, when I'm having a conversation with someone, how do I want to be talked to? What tone do I want them to talk to me in? What words do I want to allow them to describe me with? Those are examples of the limits that we can set for ourselves, the boundaries that we put in place. Boundaries are so important because they lay the foundation of how your relationship with someone is going to go. If you do not set boundaries, if you do not set limits, people are just going to keep pushing those limits. Think about a toddler. When babies are between the ages of like 2 and 3, they are consistently pushing the boundary to see how far they can go. If you don't set boundaries, people are going to consistently push your boundary, push your limit to see how far they can go, to see how much they can get out of you, to see how much you're going to allow them to push over, to see how far you're going to let them go with disrespect, with rude comments, with rude treatment, and with disrespectful treatment. People don't treat everyone the same. People don't treat everyone the same. Somebody might play in your face, but they know who face not to play in. Or somebody might not play in somebody's face, but they know exactly who to go to when they want to play in somebody's face. That's why boundaries are important, because they lay the foundation of how our relationships are going to go. And if you want productive relationships, and if you want to be valued in your relationships, and you want to show up as a confident person in the world, just in general for yourself, not even about relationships, you need to set boundaries. You need to get clear on what you want. Now we're going to learn how to set boundaries. How do we set them? And when I first started to set boundaries, it felt extremely uncomfortable. It felt like, oh my gosh, Deanna, you're being this mean girl. You're being so rude to people. You're doing this. But now it just flies off. My boundaries just fly off because I understand how important it is. And I know that I'm not being mean. And I know that I'm not being rude. And I value my protection a lot more than I value that person being pleased by me and that person thinking that I'm an easy person to deal with. I don't care if they think I'm easy to deal with. What I do care about is how I feel in conversations. What I do care about is how I allow people to talk to me. You feel me? So how do we set boundaries? We have to get clear on what we want. Get clear on what you want. Just like I said, ask yourself, how do I want to be talked to in a conversation? When I leave a conversation with someone, how do I want to feel? Even if that conversation is a conversation that is difficult to have. Even when you're having uncomfortable conversations with people, if you set a boundary, they will still be respectful. They will still be, and even it also goes on to that person's values as well, but that's a whole different topic. But even if you're having a difficult conversation, if you've taught people how to treat you, they're going to treat you with respect. They're going to treat you with kindness, even while you all are disagreeing. And if you still set boundaries and they don't treat you with respect and they don't treat you with kindness, that has everything to do with that person, their values, and their morals. But like I said, that's a totally different conversation. Get clear on what you want, especially with relationships. If you know that you don't want to be in a talking stage, you don't want to have casual relationships, you don't want to do all those different things, get clear on what you want. Say, okay, this is exactly how I want to date. This is how I want to talk. This. Or if you want to see how you're going to reframe friendships. Okay, I don't want friends who only call me when it's time to party. I don't want friends who only call me when they need something. I don't want friends who only call me for this, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? Get clear on what you want. Be extremely specific. Extremely specific. If you have to put in examples, okay, these are examples of my friends who only call me when it's time to go out. And these are examples of my friends who are well-rounded. They call me when they need something, when I need something. We're able to lean on each other. We go out. We spend time together. Blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a good balance in your friendship. You can write down those examples. So you're getting clear on what you want. And then you have to communicate your boundary. And this is the most difficult part for so many people, because communicating boundaries can be so uncomfortable and it can feel so foreign to you, and it make you feel like you're a bully, basically. And if people aren't used to boundaries, they're going to reinforce your idea of you thinking that you're a bully, because they're going to be like, oh, you're so mean, or why do you have to be so stern, or why is there always an issue with you, why do you always have something going on, blah, 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 blah. But you have to be okay with that, because when people don't want to accept a boundary, they're going to try everything and it has nothing to do with that person's character. It has everything to do with basically being a human. Humans want the easiest things. Humans want easy. That's it. Humans want easy. That's what it is. So they're going to try to get you to have the easiest boundary to make it better for them. So let's say you no longer like for people to describe you as stupid. So you tell people like, hey, we're having conversations. I know that we used to joke about me being stupid, but that's not something I want to be called anymore. I would appreciate it if you just, stop calling me that. And so a couple days go by and they say, yeah, of course, I got you, blah, blah, blah. And so one day y'all are talking and they call you stupid. What do? You don't go all off. You don't say, you know what? I told you not to call me stupid no more. You call me stupid. No, you're just going to say, hey, I no longer want to be called stupid. I told you a couple days ago, and I know our minds can get so busy. Sometimes we forget things, but if you could try to remember to make sure that you don't call me those things, I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. That's the nice way. Now, if they do it again, you tell them, hey, this is my third time telling you this. If you're unable to not call me these things, I don't think we're going to have much conversation much longer, because that's not something I want in my life anymore. You have to become a little bit stern with it. And that's the thing about boundaries. Boundaries are also going to test you as a person to see if you're serious about yourself, to see if you're serious about the boundaries that you set with people. Are you serious about how you want people to talk to you? Are you serious about how you want people to treat you? Because if you're not serious, you're going to do all this stuff I'm telling you to do. And then when it comes down to it, when it comes down to you reinforcing it and you giving them actual consequences, you're not going to be able to do it, because you're not serious about yourself. And you're going to care more about having them around, having a disrespectful person around, having somebody around who doesn't respect your boundaries, more than you care about you enforcing your boundaries and leveling up. Because there's a reason why you want your boundary. There's a reason why. Remember your why when you're reinforcing. And you don't have to be rude. And I know what happened boundaries can make you feel so guilty. They can make you feel like a terrible person. But you're not a terrible person for wanting better for yourself. You're not a terrible person for wanting yourself to go to a different level. If you don't want to be called something anymore, it's okay. If you don't want to be someone anymore, it's okay for you to put in that boundary. We only have one life to live. We might as well live a life where we feel comfortable, we feel respected, and we feel loved and cherished and valued in our relationships. That's all boundaries are for. So now I'm going to call you guys to action. What are you going to do to enforce your boundary? What is something that you want to set a boundary for? Whether that's in conversation, relationships, work, tell me. What's a boundary that you want to set? And every time that it comes to a point where you have to set that boundary, I want you to come back to this video, watch it, so you remember your why. Remember why boundaries are important, and remember what a boundary is. And I encourage you to continue to stick up for yourself, to continue to set boundaries. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I have loved talking to you guys today. I'm so excited to continue to grow on our channel and to continue to grow our community and encourage one another to level up in life.